Hello, hello. I am Pretty Bird,
And I'm Sweet Pea.
and together we are Pretty Sweet. Welcome to Pretty Sweet Distractions, where we speak unfiltered about life, love, poetry, and prowess. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the distractions in the form of open discussions on artful words. Now, we do have a few little rules. We are grown up people talking about grown up things using all the grown up words, every last freaking one of them. So, if you're easily offended, this may not be your bouncing tea bag, a cup of tea, or whatever floats your boat. We like to have fun, poke fun, and generally have a great time. If you are down to be distracted, come hang out, chat, call, like, follow, share, leave your opinions on our opinions, click all the hearts, and show us some love. You can listen to us live on Facebook, YouTube, and X, or find us wherever you listen to your podcast. Just type in Pretty Sweet and follow the red shoes. We have live streams every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. So tonight it is negative self talk. So, negative self talk can feel like a heavy, chaotic load to carry. It's crazy how crushing and overwhelming those internal critical thoughts can feel. Pushing through is difficult. But can we find a new way to process without beating ourselves down? And here's the thing. It is absolutely normal to have moments of self doubt, moments where we feel discouraged, moments where we're made to feel whatever. And after a while, we start to believe them. Now, I chose this image, not that everybody can see it, but I'm going to read you a couple of things because it can be overwhelming. Like we do it to ourselves, whether we feel like a failure, why bother trying? You're never gonna, succeed. That's a stupid mistake. You're not enough. Everyone is better than you are. You're unlovable. You're a disappointment. We've all told these things to ourselves at one point or another. And it is unfortunate and it is extremely unkind. And it is a rabbit hole that is hard to bounce back from or to climb out of. It can slide us down into the deepest depression because once it gets a foothold, once there's a place where it feels true, it does not play well with the things that we like about ourselves because it's easier to believe that we're a mess, that we're substandard, that we are less than what we could be or should be or would be otherwise. And people that tell us um, that we are less than, or you could have done that better, or this is my favorite, you're not living up to your potential. Y'all can kiss my ass, is all I'm saying. Because a lot of us bear these things quietly. We don't let them know that we take it to heart. We don't let people see our weaknesses, our most blatant vulnerabilities, where every choice we make, these decisions that other people think are easy or easy for us, that we contemplate, at all hours of the night instead of actually sleeping. And it's a lot because I don't care how put together people think you are. Sometimes your mind is an unkind place. Mine is a very unkind place. And sorry about all that noise. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but it's unfortunate. So here's the thing. Tonight we're going to realize that A, we're not alone, and B, we are wrong. We are wrong. Now, could we do things better? Yes. There's always room for improvement. There's always room to learn and grow. If you think that you know everything about everything or you are the upper echelons, you can't get any better, well, I feel bad for you because I would hate to walk through my life believing all the lies. There's always a way to be more efficient, to be more productive, to be more in tune with who you are, to work smarter, not harder. There's always these little things that we can do. Um, but because of that, it always, well, it can't often for me. It's kind of always feel like it's not enough. Like we're not doing enough. Like we should be doing more. Like other people have their shit together a lot more than I have my shit together. Therefore, I'm doing something wrong. It can't possibly be that they have different resources, that they are overachievers, that they are under a different type of pressure, so that, that that their level of achievement doesn't necessarily equal more happiness. We can't contemplate everybody else's everything. We're too busy up our own ass. And we are nicer and more positive about other people's perspective situations than we ever are to ourselves. And I am frankly tired of it being normal. I am tired of all of us. And I am going to put that out there as part of the human condition, because at some point we have all, or will all, have gone through moments where we are our own worst enemy. My mind hates me. And it doesn't matter how good I am at something. It's not good enough. It could be better, or this is wonky, or that is wonky, or this isn't right, or this isn't perfect, or this isn't what I was hoping, and this isn't this, and this isn't that. And then I'm going to be judged by my worst examples, not my best ones. But even if they judge my best ones and everything's right, but like, you don't have to be that nice to me, I can take it. So we don't want to believe the good. It's not that we don't want to, it's just so much easier to believe the people that are like, thank you for offering to make the turkey, but it's a little dry, even if you brined it for 48 fucking hours, because somebody always has something to say. The world can be unkind. The world could also be full of the most amazing people you'll ever meet. Both are true. Um, and it's a tough place. And unless it's blatant depression that has no place to hide, and not functional depression, which hides itself very well. Believe me, I know I looked fully functional, fully raised my 4 kids, did what needs to do, and I looked like I had all my shit together. I could not brain outside of responsibilities to save my life for many, many years. And people are like, well, you don't look depressed. Why are you so lazy? Lazy? Excuse me, kind sir. Lazy. With all the things that I did, it's because I wouldn't do for myself. I couldn't do for myself. I gave it all away to everybody else. And because that's what you're supposed to do as a wife, as a mother, as an employee, as a boss, as whatever your role is. We are taught to give it away. Maybe men not so much. And I hate to keep on going gender roles, but I don't know from being a man, because I lack the testicles. But no, well, I have big balls, but I lack the actual reproductive organs. And all I know is the expectation from family, friends, society is never on the individual mom/wife, and always on the kids and their behavior and their grades, the house and how clean it is, and bills on time, and all the things that you got to take care of, all how many extracurriculars and all this stuff. Nobody gives a shit if you're doing for you, because that's selfish. And the thing is, it is not. Because if we don't have that inner peace, some kind of balance, and I don't mean a work play balance, I mean this I'm willing to give to everybody else because I love them. I'm going to nurture them. I'm going to do all the things that need doing. But in that list of things that need doing, not forgetting to put yourself in that, because you have just as many needs as everybody else. And it's so easy to overlook them. It's so easy to discount them. It's so easy. And this is a big one for me. And this is a big one for me that I mention a lot, because I struggle in this area. Yes, believe it or not, I am also an imperfect person. I know, hard to believe. And but the first thing, in my honest opinion, that we can do individually, male, female, it doesn't matter, single, married, it doesn't matter. The first thing that I think we all need to do is to remember to count ourselves amongst the people that we love. Now, obviously, this does not go to the narcissistic masses, the ones that think their shit doesn't stink, the ones that put themselves above everybody else. And how dare you not get me all the things and do all the things, and you're not good enough to be in my presence. Those people can kiss my ass. I want the normal, average society, the everyday everybody, not these people that I cannot stand to be in their presence because we give it all away. We give away all of our love, all of our joy, all of our kindness, all of our respect, and all of our hopes. And when you sit down at the end of a long day or a long week, or maybe it's been a month and you realize that you have done nothing on your list of shit to do except for what needs doing. So here's the thing. I have hopes and dreams for everybody that I love. I want them to reach all of their goals, and if I can help them do it, I will. I believe in all of my people, probably more than they do, because everybody tends to be a little negative on themselves, but I'm not. They are wonderful in all the things. And if they need to have some prerequisites to do the things that they want to do their dreams, I am right there going, let's go. I can't do that for myself. I will be a cheerleader for the rest of the world, and I can't do that for me. I will love everybody with everything that I am, all of my people, and I can't do that for me. I will believe in all of them. I can't do that for me. I will make time for everybody else's joy and pain. I can't do that for me. There is no time in the grand scheme of things, outside of my lack of sleep when everything is quiet and now there's nothing left but my unfortunate mind that hates me. But in the things that I count as important that I make sure get done, it's not let me rest my mind. It's not find something that relaxes me. It's not let me just breathe for a second for me so I can be better for you. It's no, you need this, you need this, you need this. Okay, I can't sit down yet. I've got all this stuff to do. I've got all that stuff to do. Or I'm contemplating on how to make things easier because somebody asked me a question. I'm going to figure it out in 6 different ways and give them options, even though they can figure it out for themselves because they're grown. I can't help it. I can't do that for me. And it's not because I am incapable. It's because it feels wrong. By the time we're adults, a lot of us are conditioned that to feel that if we put ourselves first in anything, not everything, everything in moderation, you can't be the end all be all in every faction of your life because that tends to breed assholes. I am just saying. But if we don't include ourselves in things that are important enough to contemplate, to make sure our emotional needs are met, to make sure our physical needs are met, to make sure our mental needs are met at a bare minimum, how are we supporting all of these people on nothing but, like a shoestring of emotions and a lot of anxiety? It's a rough place to be, but it looks great for everybody else. Nobody can see you break. It's in there, and all the private thoughts and all the self-hatred, and you don't really have to hate yourself. And that's the thing that I find interesting. Negative self-talk is not, all those things that we tell ourselves that don't build ourselves up. And it's hard to build yourself up if nobody is there helping you build yourself up. It's not necessarily self-loathing. For me, I don't hate myself. I don't consider myself. I don't count it. I'm an absolute neutral zero. I don't count myself. I never learned how to count myself in the people that I love and the people that I take care of. Now here's a problem that I have because, I have opinions. I don't know that I will ever feel comfortable putting myself first all the time. I don't know if I can put myself first, if it's going to take away any kind of emotional support from my kids. I don't know if I can put myself first, if it means that I'm going to have to um, run logistics of like family logistics and give myself so much more work making sure what I can do in 15 minutes is covered by somebody else so I can have that 15 minutes to deal with my own self. Sometimes it's really just not worth it to me because that gives me anxiety. It's this algorithm of stress, emotion, and a level of self-love that I was never taught was important. It's a hard place to be. And it all makes it easier to believe that, oh, are you sure you want to wear that? And oh, I was, but maybe not now. And it has nothing to do with you valuing their opinion over yours. It's that you're so used to being told you're wrong, or people judging you harshly for anything that you call your own, for any choices that you make, that the norm, the default is to second guess. And then when you're like, yeah, I'm good, they're like, all right. And the little nitpicky, niggling little things, I hate that word, by the way, because it's close to something else, but it's the perfect word for what I mean. It's those little tiny little things that can play innocent, but they are not. And they weigh heavy. It's like it's like each little one is a little dust particle, and before you know it, you don't know how to get that thick layer of dust off of your um warped sense of self. And when you try to wash it off, it turns to mud and it's blotchy and you can't see through it, and you can't just blow it off because it's been there so long that it's sticky. It's a mental mess of crap. And so this is where I'm sitting today. Now, before I go to you, sweet, I have a tiny little brevity that I am going to read because I think it's kind of perfect to depict what the hell I'm talking about. Because sometimes I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. My words get away from me. And that's okay because it happens. We're all human. We are who we are. It's perfectly fine. But let me put this up so that everybody can, or not. Where is the paste? Here we go. All right, so that is up there. This is literally 6 lines. It's not even, I won't even count it as a thing. This is, It's Mine Alone by me, Pretty Bird. It's mine alone, my crazy, twisting thoughts into stabbing pain, ripping emotions through masks, bleeding into the eyes of those reading the sound of their own anguish. It's a painful place to be when you feel like nobody believes in you, or the only time anybody says anything good is when they want something, or they're laying the groundwork to ask you something later. And it's so easy to believe the bad in people because life tends to teach us more through pain than love. And it's a safer place to be, to err on the side of caution, to believe the bad, because it's a much shorter fall, if at all, than to believe the good and fall on your face again. How many broken bones can you take before you stop trying to jump? I'm just saying. So, Sweet Pea, what are your thoughts, or what's your experience with negative self-talk?
Oh, I have a lot of experience. I wrote a set of encyclopedias, but then the internet came out. So uh, I think that people that are really in tune with a lot of pain or a lot of things that have happened in their lives, negative self talk is not only kind of part of who they are, but it's oddly, in a strange way, I'm going to say this, it's self soothing. It helps you work through things somehow. It's not something that is normal, but for me, it's just part of. I've got to work through this, and I've got to go through this certain set of anxiety-driven kind of voices, and this step and that step to get through that. So I'm assured that I can do this. Um, there's patterns in my life that I will know I'm going to go into, and I know that little voice in my head is going to start his problems, and I'll work with that and go through that. And it's not about hurting anyone or talking about it. It's about just understanding my emotional grounding and where I've got to go and the process I have to go through, and everything else like that. It's about the experiences in my life that have either made me cautious or free, or I'm going to take that chance or whatever it may be. Because I think it's like when you're very young and they tell you not to touch the stove because it's hot, and you learn not to touch the stove because it's hot because you went ahead and did it anyway. It's like those memories that you kind of build up in your head as you've had these different experiences. Like, okay, well, you better not do that because this is going to happen, and you just have those conversations. And some of ours are for some people, are very, very, you know, they're just different types of warnings in your head. There are different types of talking points, and that, I mean, I know that's definitely true for me. Um, Not that they would be talking points for anybody else, but they're my talking points to, like, oh, be cautious with this or be cautious with that, or you might be taking on more than you think. No, you're not. Um, you're not an expert in that. You might not want to take that on. That's not where you should belong or how you should do that. Or I'm very good at, as we've talked before on our shows, is I don't want to disappoint you. I don't know if I'm good enough for that. I don't know if and that's one of my very bad habits. Is I'd rather shut myself down and walk away from it than try anything, which is a horrible thing to do, because I'm a pretty smart girl, and I just get into that where my immediate reaction is just say no. Um, and that's a horrible thing to do. So that's that, brain stem going, no, 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 when I used to say yes, 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 yes. So negative self talk inside my body is a lot different than sometimes how I may appear outside, because I can be very anxious and very, you know, internally screwed up. So that, and I don't, one thing I cannot stand is people that know you very well that want to kind of take it and say, let me fix you and polish you and look at my pretty little trophy. No, you can't take what is mine. That's my pain. I own it. It's not yours to take. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's, I want everybody else in this world to just have this fabulous, great life, and I'll walk alone in the dark and give you all the light.
Well, the saying goes, you can't light somebody else's path without shedding light on your own.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, um, pain never lets you down. So, of course, it's comforting. And will always hurt. I don't care where the pain comes from. I don't care if it's physical, emotional, mental. I don't give a crap where the pain comes from. It never lets you down. It always hurts. And it's a beautiful thing that you can count on it that way. But it's what makes it comfortable. It's what makes it comfort food, so to speak. And when you've had enough of that, it makes joy almost feel wrong. Like it does not compute. Not that you cannot feel full joy and happiness for others, but when it's us, people are often taught that they're easy to overlook, even when that's not true, even when they don't feel that way, because we interpret actions the way we would act or react in a certain situation. Everybody's different. And there's a lot of misalignment in friend groups, in families. It's crazy how much we misunderstand each other just because we assume things. So when you said, about fixing, there are fixers. A lot of men are fixers. I know some women are fixers, and sometimes I want to fix, but I ask first. I'm like, what are we looking for here? Am I listening, or are we going bullet points? Um, but there's never an assumption, because nobody else's pain is my pain, and my pain is not anybody else's pain. And so I'm happy to listen. I'm happy to try to figure it out. I'm happy to help people try to define what it is they're feeling. I'm happy to sit there and just listen and not offer anything if they don't want me to. But it's the ones that have that your emotion makes them uncomfortable, that don't have your best interests at heart. Now, we all have people, with not this shit again, but that they may not even say, they'll just roll their eyes and be like, whatever, you'll get over it. Or I don't see what the problem is. I'm like, all right. So if you have never been so overwhelmed where you know the things that need doing, but you can't seem to get up and do it, and there's no logical, rational reason, it's just such an overwhelming thing to do, even if it's something as simple as walking across the house to your computer to do some work, knowing it needs to be done. Sometimes the mental load is so deep and so heavy, you just can't do it. And then you hate yourself for it. And then people are like, just get up and go. It's like 16 steps. What's your fucking problem? Sweetie, if I knew what it was, I'd have been over it by now. The hell? We
Yeah.
have no empathy, no compassion. If it's something that we are not familiar with internally, we have a hard time trying to to offer support externally because, oh, well, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Well, thank you so much. That's not what love feels like, but thank you so much. And here's the thing. I don't think anybody needs anybody to be like them. I think that there's no expectation that people are going to be exactly like we are. I think the expectation, when there's a level of care that is more than acquaintance, when they've made it into your friend circle, or close enough friends with their family or actual family, which aren't always close, but I'm just saying, there is an unfortunate expectation, and I say unfortunate because expectation breeds disappointment, but there's an unfortunate expectation that they're going to give a crap if you're not okay. And the truth is, it's not that they don't care, it's that they don't know what to do when you're not okay if they can't fix it. So if they try to fix it and you're like, leave me the fuck alone, they're like, I did my part, I'm out. And they did nothing but make you feel worse, because now you feel useless. Now you feel um like a burden. Now you feel like like I wasn't feeling bad before. Now I'm feeling all this stuff. And now the person that's supposed to be my person thinks I'm an idiot, you know? And you feel broken and small and little. You're not broken. You're not small. You're not little. We process things differently. And some of us need to figure out, and it changes throughout time. What was easy for us at 15 is not the same thing that's easy for us at 25 or 50 or whatever it is. And we have to cut ourselves a little bit of slack to relearn how to process things with our new fears, our new anxieties, um, our childhood traumas, our new emotional traumas, because trauma does not stop just because you grow. I am just saying. And so the terrain changes, and we keep on trying to traverse our own psyche with the same old information, instead of, taking a second to get comfortable with the new topography and learn our way through. You know, it's not an easy task, and it's not a task anybody else can do for us. So when we're in that place where everybody else comes first, where I have to do all of these things, where these are my responsibilities, and you don't include yourself in those responsibilities, then you're never going to be able to traverse that new topography, and you're going to feel like a failure. You're going to feel like you can't even think straight. You're going to feel like you can't hold a thought in your head, like you're useless, like you cry at everything, that like you need to take 15 showers a day so nobody sees you cry, because that's a whole fight that you're just not strong enough to have, because people can't see that you are not what you do. You are not the tasks you complete. You're also not the tasks you don't complete. That it's a whole layered effect of emotion. And it makes people uncomfortable, especially people that don't contemplate their own emotions on a layered level. Like the ones that are lucky enough, and I do mean lucky, to be happy, sad, angry, annoyed, like 7 or 8 basic levels of emotion, and not all the overlapping, intertwined bullshit of confusion that emotion can be. God bless those people. They they have been chosen for a simpler life because it's easy to traverse the big emotions because they are clear. I am angry. I am happy. I am sad. You're bothering the fuck out of me. Get out of my sight. Those are easy. It's the ones that are harder to define that we blame ourselves for. It's those tears that come for no reason that we're like, well, I'm just this hot mess. Everybody's right. I am broken. Maybe I am, melodramatic. Maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe I am all the things that make you uncomfortable. But that doesn't mean that the way you mean it is the way my truth is. Being overwhelmed, having everything at your surface, at the surface, not sleeping because I don't sleep. If I sleep 5 hours and 4 nights, like over 4 nights, and I lose my mind a little bit, don't fucking call me melodramatic because I'll show you fucking melodramatic. Because sleep deprivation is a thing. And nobody gives a shit except for the person who isn't sleeping. That they'll be like, "Oh, you look tired. Maybe you need a nap." But nobody's doing your chores. Nobody is doing your childcare. Nobody's offering to pick your kids up from school and keep them for a couple of hours. Nobody's offering to cook dinner. Nobody's offering to meet your deadlines. Nobody's offering to allow you time to get that sleep. The best that I've ever been offered is here's some Xanax, or maybe you need a prescription for Ambien. No, no, the fuck I don't. If warm milk or hot tea isn't going to do it for me, I have bigger problems that I need to suss out so I can make enough space in my brain enough to allow my body to relax. And that's not helping, but it's true. People have opinions. I've got family members that I have seen, no lie, but as soon as they start to lean back, they are snoring before their head meets the pillow. And I'm just like, I hate you. How do you fucking do that? Just naturally, because they are more physically guided than mentally guided, and that when they are ready to sleep, their body will shut down. Um, and you can see it in their face. I was like, I wish I could sleep through my pain. I wish that I could sit there and not contemplate all the ways to still do everything that I think needs doing, um, while knowing I'm not 100% myself. So I have to do all of that more so I don't feel like like I'm lacking or not doing a good enough job for my people. And that leaves a lot less for me because I don't count myself. But if I put myself in that, then it's going to be we're going to need to run logistics because I'm going to need two weeknights where you run the kids' baths, where you check their homework, and where you cook dinner. Now, I don't want we can half and half the rest of it, and I'll do all the weekends. But I need some weekday shit help. I need it consistent. I need to know that the way I give you an hour or two to wind down after work, you can give me an hour or two to wind down after a day, you know? And it's a hard thing to traverse in life, and it should be easy, it should be simple, it should be we're partners and all of this stuff, and it is for maybe the chores, but not for the mental load, because I've always been more aware, not perfectly aware because, I'm human, things go over my head too, um, but I am more acutely aware of the emotional or mental needs of my kids, the people that I'm around daily. I'm like, listen, you're not right. You're a little cranky. What's going on? And if it's this stress or that stress, then I tweak my time accordingly to make things easier for them to provide whatever. Like if they're stressed out, I will do a full face, scalp, shoulder, back massage before they go to sleep, just so that they can actually sleep. And I will work that into my time, take whatever little time away from me to do for others. And it's not a bad thing to want to do for your people. It is, however, not sustainable for your own mental health. So, every now and then you really need to focus on the good. Now, people want to talk about affirmations and all of these things and how it takes about 3 weeks to make something a habit. And once it's a habit, yeah, but making it a habit is tedious and whatever. And if you don't believe it, if you say it and you feel stupid, saying it 15,000 times might just put up your fight or flight reflex, and your body will go into full on I don't believe you mode and fight against swallowing what it feels like a lie. It doesn't always work. Can it? Yes. You have to want it to. And it's not an easy place to be. It's why they don't give you the lists of the big giant affirmations to start with. They give you today I feel good enough, you know? And I think that they call older people wise because we get to a point where we're like, fuck you and that horse you rode in on. I don't give a shit. You're going to think what you think. I don't care if you think I suck. And once we get to that point, it's a easier transition into well, maybe I'll stop thinking I suck, you know? And so you find these people in their 40s or 50s or 60s that are finally free of everybody else's bullshit. 'Cause it's one thing to say I don't give a shit. It's another thing to actually not give a shit. But when you let go, the give a darn of the judgment of others, especially not strangers, because who gives a shit, but the ones who love you, the ones that are like, ooh, that color, really? They're like, you don't like it, don't look at it. Have dinner with somebody else. I'll be in the car. And it sounds rude, and it doesn't have to be that rude. I tend to be blunt. But if you're comfortable, be comfortable because your people will learn soon enough. If they don't get a rise out of you, if they can't make you feel small to feel big, if all of these things that they have done forever stop working, they're either going to double down and make sure they think you're a piece of shit and therefore makes it much easier for you to put them in your place, or they're going to shut up and freak out because, oh, all right. Because I promise you, most of us that feel like we're nothing at some point felt like we were something. Because the ones that um feel like they're nothing consistently younger, like maybe through childhood, teens, early 20s, they tend to it tends to hit different. It's the ones that are in these long-term relationships. In my experience, it comes in all shapes and sizes. I'm just saying. But in my experience, it's the ones that had the confidence, the ones that may have been slightly effervescent, not necessarily the pick me, look at me life of the party, but enough confidence that you could walk in a room and own it, enough confidence that it didn't matter what other people thought about what you wear, because if you liked how it looked, you were good. The same thing that attracts these people is the same thing that they need to suppress to feel powerful, because it doesn't change that they're proud. It doesn't change that they like what you look like. It changes that um it's something that they need to know and nobody else needs to know, because God forbid you realize they're not who they presented themselves as, and you're still confident, then you have zero reason to stay there because they'll be found out as a charlatan. People suck, but
Yeah.
you know, but it's an interesting thing that happens when somebody believes in you and somebody is there for you, because when it's a soft kind of um rock that you can count on, when they become a safety net, when the fear then becomes, oh well, I think I've outgrown you, like they'll be afraid that you're going to be everything that they've known you to be, and then you're going to be like, yeah, no, because that fear is there even when you think it's not. When people realize what they have and they know they're lucky to have you, it is a scary thing to think of losing that person. And some of us are like, well, she's too big for her britches. If I keep them down a little bit, they'll stay with me. Or if I want to see her shine, and let's just build her up and build her up and build her up and everything that I know to be true. And that, but if they don't have that that same kind of resignation for their own selves, and the person that they're building up doesn't also build up their partner, they will feel diminished. And if they shrink, and what once was weak and now is strong realizes that they're smaller than they used to be, it absolutely can feel like, oh, I've outgrown you. I'm on to the next one. People are idiots because we sit there in this land of myopia where it feels selfish to want for ourselves, so we do for other people. But then we do for other people, and then they're comfortable, being selfish. And we're like, well, why isn't anybody doing for us? Like, because we were not raised the same. And in a friendship, in a working environment, in a relationship, in whatever faction of familial ties you have, whatever role people think you have versus who they think you are, these you need these conversations, these obnoxiously tedious and painful, uncomfortable conversations about, listen, if I am your safe place, I need you to be my safe place. Because if I'm building you up and somebody else is building me up, I'm going to want to go where I don't have to work so hard. You know? It's why a lot of us are closer to our friends than we are to our family. Because at least my family, I love them to pieces. We can be a little mean. We rag on each other all the time. It's kind of funny. That's our love language. Insults and butt rubs. Don't judge. Um, but when we need somebody to be there, we're like, listen, um, I need to talk to you. We will full on sit there and have that private conversation, and do all the things, and believe in each other the best we have, the best we can. We will also be, I'm not trying to poo-poo your ideas, but given your circumstances, your timeline's a little unrealistic. Let's see what we can do to get you there, because we're kind of blunt that way. We're not going to like blow smoke up your ass. Is it always healthy? Fuck no. But in your closest relationships, if you do not sit down and define what the needs are, and the needs do ebb and flow. So it's not just one conversation. Be like, listen, I need to be present. I need you to be present. I need you to show me actions that are loving, as well as tell me, on occasion, some things. I was like, I need you to not withhold anything, because I know people, it's usually guys, and I know that won't tell their girl they look beautiful, or they notice that you get a haircut, or whatever. They'll sit there and be like, oh, is that a new dress? Oh, all right. And make you feel bad about it, even if they think that it's amazing. Because if you know that you're everything, they can't deny that they're nothing. But if you treat them like they're everything in return, that doesn't happen as easily. And we all slide. But I know too many people that are like, they don't do this for me and they don't do that for me. And if they love me, they would, oh, shut up with your if then algorithms on love. If you want them to do for you, do for them. If you want them to treat you like a queen, treat them like a king. If you want them to, if you want to feel comfortable and open in your emotions and intimacy, you have to be that safe place for them. This is not a me, 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 me. It is very much an equal opportunity, ebb and flow kind of yin and yang relationship. And if both parties don't understand that, it's going to be a painful journey, despite how much love is there, because one really doesn't have much to do with the other. People, you know, have beaten others to death in the name of love. That's not okay. But if you give everything and they give nothing, it's a problem. If they give everything and you give nothing, it's a problem. If you want to fix things that you think are substandard and they don't read that as they are broken and you treat them like they're broken, that's insulting. It's kind of dismissive, degrading, and disrespectful. And you'll never know what you did wrong because y'all don't freaking talk to each other. It's a little nuts. So, this negative self talk is not just something that we do to ourselves, it's not something that is born in our own head. It's seeds of doubt and negativity that are thrown at us and spit upon us and fall upon us in these little things that we hear or we see, and because people are judgmental, and we wear that negativity, we like save it like face paint, and every time we look in the mirror it's there screaming at us, and we do it to ourselves, we hold on to it, and I don't know why. I really don't know why we do that to ourselves. It's not happy. It's painful. It is not where anybody wants to be, but we can't seem to ignore it. I can't convince myself of anything more than this, that, or the other thing. Now, I can talk a good game. I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of. I know all of that. But as I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, you've heard it on here. So, sweet people be like, oh, this poem, this is this. I'm like, like whatever, it's words, you know? And the thing is, I am well aware that if somebody else reads something I wrote, sees something that I have done, holds something that I made with my own two hands, and it makes them feel something, it's magic. It matters. It's important, and it's a lot easier to believe that it's not, because when you believe that it is, and people don't react right, where you go and you make a Christmas ornament for some. I've made them for however many years. I love the way I make Christmas ornaments. I am not poo-pooing my ornaments. I just want to put that out there. And I go through and I make this 4-inch $50 hand whatever ornament, and I give it as a gift. And they're like, "Oh, you've always been so crafty." And then they just kind of don't even bother to put it on their tree. I'm like, "Oh, sweetie, you can give that back to me because that's a $50 ornament that I have been paid more than that for. It took me over a week to make, and it is fucking stunning. If you don't want it, that's fine. If you're going to poo poo it because I made it, you and I can't be friends because we don't align." But we will forgive and we try, and the good outweighs the bad. You know what? The bad is still bad. You don't pit the good against the bad. You see how deep those cuts go and if they're survivable. If they are survivable, then we see how much good is left. We don't sit there and be like, okay. So they did 5 little nice things. They only stabbed me once, even if it was through my heart. That's 1 to 5. That's not sustainable. It's very much, um, if they did this bad thing again, will it kill me? Can I survive that? And if the good, however much good there is, can't survive that bloodletting, then it doesn't outweigh the bad. And it's a hard place to be because we blame ourselves for everything. Well, it's my fault because I'm not good enough. And I could have done this and I should have done that. And this is this and that, that, that. And this one time when I was 7 years old, I heard my mama say this. And we can't remember what our mama said, the last time we saw them. We're going to remember what they said when our brains use it as protection, when it's like, nope, you cannot fall into this higher expectation for yourself because you will find more pain. So you're going to believe all this little shit and it's going to keep you small because that keeps other people happy. And when other people are happy, well, sometimes you're happier. So it's okay. You're going to feel small. And it is a hard thing to suppress your natural abilities, your natural sense of right and wrong, your natural sense of self, your natural way to be for the for the what of others? The love? Because that's not love. For the appeasement? For what? And I'm not saying this to judge anybody because I am anybody. You know, we do it to ourselves, maybe not consistently, but periodically, and it is hard to crawl out of. So sweet. Anything to add before we go into the words?
No, I agree with you. I think you're right on target about what you do and how we get there, and you've been pretty spot on, except for one small thing, which was a little inside joke for myself when you said you need to tell people to be present. I swore you said you need to tell him you want to be make him instead of present. I thought you said pregnant, which was kind of funny until I realized what you said. But that's just it.
I mean, it would be nice if we can trade that off every now and then because that would be funny.
It's just funny. Like you need to tell your man to be pregnant. What? Hey, okay.
All right. So I'm going to go in order since I read a little tiny one to open up with. I'm going to put Budo on the wall. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, because apparently my little clicky button is not clicking. Here it is. Okay.
But by the way, I love that. It was beautiful. You kind of went right over comments on that, but that's okay.
On what?
You on the little bitty poem you read. That was beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Well, it wasn't about comments. It was about the idea for the show that's what the pain looks like. And people that don't focus on it, that they feel it and it weighs on them. Okay, I don't know how these notes are going into widgets, but it's driving me freaking nuts. So
Yeah, I don't know either.
yeah, we can't click on any of the comments because they show up there and it's very distracting for me. Other people may like it, but unless they're going to tell us that they like it, it's distracting for me and pulls my focus. And then my brain gets all scatterbrained because I have issues. Shh, I don't know if you know that. All right, so this is Chasm by Budo. Did you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
Haven't looked at it, so I don't know.
I'll read it, no worries.
Okay.
This is Chasm by Budo. A chasm of infinite proportions containing all I deem precious. Simulcast comforts of home as I crash carcass down on synthetic matted fibers. Gazing up, ill-tarnished ether peeled and chipped from affliction. Now the last rays of hope glance onto rusted ore, barring feeble emancipation for such cretinous innuendo. A lifetime of dismembered notions glance off cinder and mortar, aged by putrid consequence and of the vile, coated in layers of muted deference of rustic pastel streaks. The final seconds of this hour tick off like gunshots echoing in deafened ears. Limp, shoddy lids close out another fateful day. Suffering, secluded, stranded onto this concrete island by a saturnine wit of the improper, lapse solitary confinement, adrift within obsidious nether and isolation's bliss. That is mental entrapment if I've ever seen it. It is that place where you beat yourself up, where everything you look at is tarnished and peeling and broken, kind of like an old jail cell, and hope rusts in those tears, those salted tears that you don't let anybody see you cry. A lifetime of dismembered notions, Yeah. Because, we all want things. We've all felt things. We all hope for things. And then one by one, tiny bit by tiny bit, it gets ripped from the root and thrown across. And you're left with all of these holes until you're bleeding out alone. The final seconds of this hour tick off like gunshots echoing in deafened ears when there's nothing left to think of, when the weight of it almost suppresses your breath and your eyelids finally close in leaded bliss. You can only pray that it doesn't follow you into whatever semblance of slumber your body allows for however short a time. This is very painful and very vivid. So, Sweet Pea, your thoughts.
Yeah, this is great. I have to say the line that I like in here, and it just kind of gives me a visual of trying to shut down a really crappy Tupperware lid, but limp, shoddy lids close out in another fateful day where you can't even get that thing shut. It's just, another thing that's just not going to cooperate and do what you need to do because it's just worn out and it's had its last thing, and you are so tempted just to throw it in the trash. Whether the food is good or not good doesn't matter because it's just had it, but you need it and you're going to use it, and so you fight with it and you go with it, and that's I just have that visual in my head. And sometimes that's how you feel at the end of the day is, God, everything has gone wrong. I'm tired of having all this stuff I can't hold anymore. I'm just so sick of it. I could throw myself in the trash because I can't take another thing. It's just I cannot take it, and like the old Tupperware, there's nothing more. I can't shut it down. I can't shut it up. But I have to because it's the only thing I have. So let's go lay in that bed and try to sleep. I really like how this is played out, but aged by putrid consequences of the vile coated and layer of muted difference of rusted pastel snakes or streaks. Um, yeah, I mean, it really kind of came down like that for me, and I thought it was really brilliant.
Absolutely. So, Rack was here a second ago, but he left, and I have him on the board. So, I
Yeah,
don't know if you want to wait to read him to see if he comes back, but he's been in and out.
yeah.
He's got two, so I'm thinking we should read this one.
Okay,
All right, so I read Bud, you read Rack.
okay. I'll read back. Let me find back. Okay, Rocky Rack. Ah, don't do that to me, dude.
What's the matter?
Oh, he wants me to switch over. I click on Rack's poem, and now he wants me to be in the other. I hate that when he does that.
I mean, he doesn't do it. He was just a newer member than we are, so he's got the new format.
No, I thought it was Kevin just forces you at
Oh,
random
Kevin,
times.
yeah. Well, no, it's very much the from what I have seen, the newest accounts are transitioning first.
Oh, I click on the poem link and it's like, oh, you
Oh yeah,
signed this one.
it
Ugh.
it
Anyway,
sucks.
back to Mr. Raconteur. Never was by Raconteur. I am chasing the twilight moon or running from the rising sun. In either case, it doesn't matter. I'm getting nowhere. Rose-colored memories stripped out of their bloom slow my journey to a crawl. Inevitably, it comes crashing down, bury me where I stand. I'm the relic nobody wants to exhume on the outskirts of deja vu until every nuance has been forgotten, leaving no evidence I ever existed. Swallowed in the silence of a ruin, where failure means no longer trying. succumbing to the physical atrophy of oblivious, learning no one realizes I'm gone. And Paul.
You know, there's something really that, okay, so the last verse where he says, where failure means no longer trying, the notion of that kind of stands out to me above this poem, which is desolation. So, and I'll get to it in a minute. Am I chasing a twilight moon or running from the rising sun? And that is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful way to describe insomnia, you know, where you can't crawl out of your head. You're there, you can't sleep. You don't want to be in your head, but the world says, not tonight. And there's sadness that comes through this, you know? But swaddled in the silence of ruin, where failure means no longer trying. So here's the thing. We could all feel like a failure, and we often do. You fail to do your best. You fail to, um, you know, meet the upper echelons of your own expectation. But if you don't try to be better than you think you are, if you don't try to see the good in your situation or in yourself, if you don't, the second you can completely give up, you lost. There's nothing left. You make it your truth, even if even if it was never your truth to begin with. So where failure means no longer trying, so long as there is a little bit left to want to see something better in yourself, to want to maybe think that under whatever circumstance, something could be seen as gray instead of black, whatever it is, that is a seedling of hope. And while hope may not always spring eternal, it can absolutely get you through to the next day. And so, where failure means no longer trying, that line is an entire experience of running through the atrophy of ambivalence. I mean, Lord, the beauty of that turn of phrase. Succumbing to the physical atrophy of ambivalence. And here's the thing, I don't care. I mean, doesn't matter anyway. Like, I could eat. I don't want to get up. Whatever it is, emotionally, mentally, physically, it wears you down until you are no longer capable of getting up and doing those things, of physically making that change, of emotionally allowing yourself to see the good, of um, believing that you are still capable of that depth of emotion that brought you to that place. That last verse is stunning in and of itself, and the weight of this poem breaks my heart on so many levels. And um, not the least of which is in its uncomfortable familiarity. Rose colored memories stripped of their bloom slow my journey to a crawl, and something happens when you stop seeing the good as good, when you see it from the outside instead of from the inside, when no, they were just an asshole. You know, it's not they're not an asshole who also love me. They were just an asshole, because love doesn't look that way. That's not what it feels like. And then you get to that point, it and you gave everything for nothing, and you feel like nothing, and so they said you were nothing, and now I'm nothing, and but I'm going to try to not be nothing because I know I'm something better than that. And then you look around and everything's gone and everybody left and nobody cares, and they destroy you, and they're perfectly fine, and you're like, I guess I actually am nothing. So I'm just going to sit here and be nothing in silence. And that's the beginning of the end. That's the only time anybody else can win, is when you completely give up. Because as long and I don't mean give in, because sometimes we need to give in to that pain, feel that pain, let it out, take a deep breath, and rebuild that foundation that was crushed. That is perfectly valid. But if we stop before that rebuilding starts and we settle into the dust of who we thought we were, and we believe all of those things that our empty life proves is true, because there can't be any other reason, there always is another reason. But if we choose that to hook into, how do you grow from that if there's nothing left to stand on? If you don't cry your tears into that dust, make new cement, and build a stepping stone, how do you grow once you give up? And so that line, that line above all the other lines where failure means no longer trying, so long as you take a deep breath and, have that little bit of gumption to try to stand up. It doesn't matter how many times they knock you down. It doesn't matter if first you have to roll over onto your belly and sit in the belly and lay there for a while, and then get up onto your knees and be there for a while. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It matters that you still try. And I find this to be amazing. So, Sweet Pea, your thoughts?
This one is wow. It's got a lot in it. It's got a lot of depth, and it's definitely got a lot of heartbreak. And you just read it, and on the outside, everybody wants to go in and hug you and give you everything they have, because the thought of realizing that you think nobody's going to notice you're gone is crazy. But the fact that you feel that is what's real. Is that, that's all that matters, is that you feel that. So if you feel that, that's where the pain is. That's where it all goes. That's where, you know, you have to meet your monster and live with that and wrestle with that. Um, and when you talk about being the relic, nobody wants to consume on the outside of deja vu. I think that's something that I can relate to and struggle with. I struggle with a little bit because I'm past way past the middle age thing, and how much longer am I going to be important to anybody, or kids and grandkids, and you know I already get the OGG, sit down, you don't know, or things like that, or mom, go sit down, we've got this. Don't wipe yourself out like I'm incapable of doing too much of anything. So it's very almost life affirming. So it's it's a scary place to be and scary things to think about. But I don't know if I could be so swaddled tightly in the silence of ruin that I fear never trying. Mhm. But it's got a lot of hard hitting um, thoughts that can run through someone's head. It's very, very good.
This is true. And I think that um, artists of any media, poets in particular, because, short form poetry, words, emotions, all the things, it's kind of like, you're mainlining somebody else's description of emotion you didn't know how to put into words. And sometimes it can be very, very stark. Sometimes it pulls you into that thing where it's like, yeah, no, that's it. That's it. But as soon as you realize that somebody else wrote that, as soon as you realize you're not alone and they survived, it feels like you can survive. And so I find it to be cathartic when you come upon words or, a book or even a movie that aligns with something you didn't know how to define for yourself, that you have these moments that pull emotion, that make you feel less alone. That's just magic. It's amazing. So it is just after 11 o'clock, and we're actually going to do announcements kind of on time today. Look at that, because
All
miracles
right.
never cease. So, Miss Sweet Pea, what is coming up on Thursday?
On Thursday, we are going to have the Flash Fiction Alien Show. So I'm very excited about that. It is, can't find it on the board. Let's find it on the board. It's 16, where are you? Oh, there it is. Um, Intelligent life isn't easy to come by, but we can't be alone in this unknown universe. Do you believe in alien abductions? What if Earth is just a tourist destination? For extraterrestrials, let your imagination run wild in 500 words or less. So come join us, write a story about the alien abductions, and let's have a good old fashioned story night. And that should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that.
And then on Tuesday, it is Big Feet, you say? Now, we've all heard the old wives' tales about predictions. Are they true or truly unreliable? Whether it's size or other predictions, can we foresee the unforeseeable? Do we really want to? Does it even matter at all? And I kind of love this because I don't care if it is all size all the time, whether or not you can tell, the gender of a baby by putting a weight on the end of a string and which way it goes, whether you can divine water with a stick, it doesn't matter. I find these amazing. And I think we all have a lot of thoughts on big feet, big hands, all the things. And I think that it's funny because does it really matter? So that is on Tuesday.
Want to go further?
Hmm.
Okay. I keep finding maybe things. I'm losing them. Oh, that's
You all right?
yeah. I can't find the date.
It's at the top. It's the 23rd.
July 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
I have 6:23 on my screen. Don't have a 7:23.
It's the second one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now it's on there. I know what's going on with my computer. Sorry. The birth of a smile. We all have those little things that always seem to make us smile. At times, the warm and the fuzzies can be hard to come by, whether it's those infamous whiskers on kittens or smell of your favorite, the smell of your favorite smile.
Oh,
What?
that's I don't know what that was supposed to be. My bad.
I'm going with it. The smell of your favorite smile. I like it. What are some of those favorite little things that brighten your day, lift the mood, and birth a smile? So there you go. I like that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So that is what is coming up um, this week, next week. And you can listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Just type in Pretty Sweet, PRTTY Sweet, all one word. Click on the red shoes and follow us. The hundreds of hours of distractions. So you can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, all the places. Just type us in and click those shoes. You can listen to us live on uh, Facebook, X/Twitter, and YouTube. Just type in Pretty Sweet there too. Pretty Sweet Distractions. Um, all of our places look the same. You click those red shoes, you will find us. So like, follow, share. Feel free to tell us what you like, what you don't like. all of the things. And hopefully you will come hang with us Tuesdays and Thursdays because that's when we're live. And again, you can listen to us on Facebook, X, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 o'clock. So that is our announcements. Raconteur, are you back? I mean, I see you. I don't hear you. I'm going to assume you're going to speak to us when you're when it finishes doing whatever it's doing. So feel free to say hi. Oh my goodness. All right, sweet. You are on the board. Are you ready?
Yes, I am on the board. I am ready. This is called Zombie. Somewhere inside of me, there used to be a person, someone who did breathe, a soul that could dream. Somewhere inside of me, a thinker once resided. Ideas would dance and come alive. The creature became excited. Somewhere inside of me, a child wished upon a star, believed in fairy tales, had stories she wanted to tell. Somewhere outside of me, rotten flesh hangs from broken bones, eyes hang from the skull, and no one notices it all. Somewhere inside of me, I feel the need to feed on the lovely flesh of my healthy friends, how they run from me. Somewhere outside of me, I can barely see. The others are like me. What happened to the someone inside of me? Info.
You know, I can see this as a zombie, but I see this is how we become a shell of who we are. You know, where we are still perfectly cognitively aware of our childhood and our whimsy and all the things, where we had that free will and circular thoughts and all of the things that get insulted out of you, that get lost in the subtle, not so subtle manipulation of others, that turns into our own self manipulation because we end up buying into all of the things. Because if you love me, you wouldn't lie to me, so it has to be true. And then you get to the outside of me, where it feels like that mask that we wear is rotten and putrid. And how can they not tell? How can you not tell the stink coming off of my fake essence? And you call yourselves my friends. And then you get the, I feel the need to feed on the lovely flesh of my healthy friends, how they run from me. And that is, you're too needy. You're too sensitive. Why are you so melodramatic? You're a lot. And we end up um overwhelming them with the shit that we drag on in little bits because we don't face it full on. And so they run. But I feel the need to feed on the lovely flesh of my healthy friends. And I get zombie and brains and all of that. But why do they have to? Why do they get to feel happy? Why do they get the joy? Why do they get to laugh? Why do they get to love themselves? Why do they get to be privileged? Why do they get to feel as pretty as they look? Why do they get to believe it when somebody tells them they're beautiful and somebody tells me I'm beautiful and I feel like shit? Why? And that turns into those, oh, really? In that color? Are you sure? And sometimes we don't do it on purpose, though it feels like everybody else does it on purpose. But have you ever seen a trapped dog or a trapped animal? And it doesn't matter if you're there to help, they will lash out because it is a self-preservation response. And that's feeding on the flesh of my healthy friends feels like self-preservation. I can't be the only one. What's wrong with me? You know, they're not as perfect as they pretend to be. I know they're not, because look, is it pretty? No. Is it honest? Also, yes, because, they can both be true at the same time. But how they run, because sometimes we can be overwhelming just even in our silence. You know what I mean? I don't know. It is heartbreaking. Now, Rack was here a second ago.
I know.
He just texted me, I'm backstage, and I don't see him anymore.
I don't either.
Okay. Told him to try to come back in. I don't know what it is with his phone and our studio that they are not playing nice here Thursday or today. And it's kind of breaking my heart a little bit because I love his commentary. So you are stuck with my comment.
I like your comment. We're good.
So, all right. Well, I appreciate that. Okay. So now I've got a lot of poems, actually. I'm not sure which one I want. I think I'll go with my cancerous soul.
Okay.
Let me see. Usually I put things on there in order, but I don't feel like that order right now, so it is what it is. While I'm reading, if he pops in, please just click on him and let him in.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. If I'm done reading, I'll take care of it. But if he doesn't want, if he pops in, this is not what I wanted. Where am I? Oh, did I not click on it? My bad. All right. This is My Cancerous Soul, or Premonitions, Predestination, Psychosis, and Me. By me, Pretty Bird. And it seems to be a high bun. Look at me doing some fancy shit. Here we go. A worst case scenario mentality breeds emotional nightmares of what ifs, methodically feeling the pain in each possibility, preparing for hell, knowing it is impractical, improbable, and unkind. Each reaction gauged, smiles erupt in each better choice, a familiar road traveled often, led only by a history of pain. It ebbs and flows, bobs and weaves at will. This reality is organized, easy to understand. Random thought of an unlikely, unfathomable future, vivid like a film, unwavering, persistent. There is no controlling its outcome. Forced to watch the images forged in a broken mind. Tears burn flesh and a naked heart bleeds. Stop rolling, just stop. No amount of pleading slows the images. The pain is overwhelming, far beyond self inflicted, torturous, methodical thoughts, uncontrollable, inconsolable, true and real, so very real. There's but one way to stop that future, the one shown in visions of just deserts, the future that smolders through present joy. Preemptive pain is just not an option. I've seen the future my heart has built. The shards of a shattered soul offer no comfort. My worst case scenario was but a benign freckle on the elbow of a body invaded by metastatic melanoma. End poem.
Wow. Wow. I gotta wrap my mind around this one. This is wow.
I see Rack, but I don't know if he's here yet.
Oh.
I put him in.
He's not here.
Oh, all right. So go ahead. My bad.
Well, you read it. You start.
I read it because I wrote it.
That's what I thought. Okay. I'm like, don't confuse me. I thought this was yours. You're confusing me. There he is coming again.
Backstage.
There you are. You're
You
in.
are. It's Rag. First off, I love the cancerous soul. It's like it's defeated already. It's, it's methodic, feeling the pain, like you say, methodically. It's preparing for hell. Smiles erupt in each better choice, but led by that history of pain. Reality is organized, easy to understand, which is your personality when you are very structured and organized. So why wouldn't anything like that not be the same? An unlikely, unfathomable future. Forced to watch images forged turns, burns flesh, and a naked heart bleeds. That, by the way, is another great jealous line. A naked heart bleeds. No amount of pleading slows the images far beyond self-inflicted torture and methodic thoughts. Uncontrolled, inconsolable, true and real. So very sorry. You just have such these gut-wrenching lines that you just kind of want to pour over, I don't know, I just want to take them away from you, which I know I can't because they're not my pain. It's your pain, and you'll know how to handle it. I won't know how to handle it. And you taught a benign freckle that was invaded by a mass melanoma because it's the worst case scenario. And your heart, being built on shards of shattered soul. It just, that imagery of, just a new soul, like you're being put together on a bunch of shattered glass is heartbreaking. It's like, I can't even imagine, the creation of a small child and every other pin is a piece of shattered glass. That imagery is so, it's primitive. Not the imagery being primitive, the thought of it, like 1,000 razor blades cuts, as they say, but as you're being created, just having all of that pain already embedded into you, like you are born to understand it, born to know it, or born to accept it. It's like your fate, and you kind of like, there it is. And it's hard to take on how you write with such brilliance and pain. Like you make people feel it, and you're really, really good at that.
Thank you.
It's actually a compliment. How much I love how you can paint pain. And Rack, I don't know if you got to hear it, but there it is. You have a comment.
Well, let's just see if his mic and stuff are working. Can you hear us, Raconteur?
Raconteur. Hear no voice. I just see the big R, the branding of the Raconteur.
Okay, so I'm going to turn this off and turn it back on. See if that does anything. Can you hear me now? Rack. He keeps on going in and out. Oh my goodness. I do have him on the board. So, did I put him on the wall? Yes, I did. Okay. So I guess if you read the last one of his, I guess I'll read this one, even though I just read it's fine, whatever. Okay. This is Signs of Life by Raconteur. And it goes like this. I apologize for my lack of grace in the straightforward telling of this tale. Too often, expectations lead to disappointment, teaching the latent joy Leeching the... I'm going to start over because that was ass. Signs of Life by Raconteur. I apologize for my lack of grace in the straightforward telling of this tale. Too often, expectations lead to disappointment, leeching the latent joy from every moment. Stories of dashed hopes are nothing new. Broken dreams litter my memories. Desire is a promise that remains unfulfilled, all because I dared to hope. What right do I have to more? Am I a fool to believe? Do my aspirations camouflage contentment, guaranteeing I can only succeed in failure? It isn't enough to just breathe, playing the cards I've been dealt, or am I making myself crazy, seeking answers to questions that remain unspoken? Death occurs in staccato bursts, silently permeating my being, eradicating any remaining signs of life, stopping only after rigor mortis sets in. And poem. So before I start with comments, Raconteur, can you hear me? No, you can't because I didn't let you in. Okay, can you hear me now? Raconteur. Well, I'm going to give you a comment. Feel free to say hello when you can hear us. Or if we, because hopefully it says that you're all good and your mic's on and all the things. So I'm going to start talking about you now. What right do I have to more? Am I a fool to believe? I mean, like, we all feel like fools when we believe the improbable, or when we believe that what should be readily available to everybody and isn't. I mean, you feel like you're the idiot. You feel like, well, I don't, how dare I want a friendship? How dare I want companionship? How dare I think I deserve the bare minimum out of this existence? You know? It is a hard place to be beaten, not bitten. I mean, I suppose bitten, but beaten into this kind of emotional submission, and we do it to ourselves. It may start outside of ourselves, but it takes hold and we wring the life out of it. I apologize for my lack of grace in the straightforward telling of this tale. And here's the thing. When it's an honest emotion, there is grace in that. It doesn't have to be pretty to be graceful or full of grace. Death occurs in staccato bursts, silently permeating my being. And that's what I meant earlier when I said it's not about the good outweighing the bad in, the number of hits. It's what's survivable. And it's like death by 1,000 paper cuts or 1,000,000 paper cuts or whatever that saying is. This drop here and that drop there leads to a pool of blood that is unsustainable. And when we're beat down enough, emotionally speaking, we don't have it in us anymore to try to put bandages over each and every one of those. What for? So that it heals, so that it can be stabbed again over and over and over. I mean, at what point do we give up or give in or realize that maybe they're right or maybe I'm wrong or whatever it is, and nobody notices? And when you get to the eradicating any remaining signs of life, stopping only after rigor mortis sets in, that both to me speaks of the physical, they found him in the apartment, 3 weeks after he died. And that emotional state of overwhelm that makes it difficult to do anything, that leaves us unable to go through our days of doing all that needs doing, and we see what needs doing, and because everything needs doing, we feel like we can't do it. And if we think we can't do it. If it's too much for us to get done, then why bother trying? And I everything in my fight or flight keeps me in this position and away from the action of trying to do the things that I'm going to fail at anyway. And it's a rough place to be. And what an honor it was to read. Truly. So Rack, can you hear us? You know, I see you trying to sneak in, and I get all excited, and then silence. So you keep on talking to us so that maybe one of these times we'll actually hear you and get all excited. And Sweet Pea, your thoughts?
Back. This is another killer for me, but it's a beautiful poem, obviously. But you've got this negative self-talk down to a science. I'm not sure how you're doing it, but you've definitely got it down to a science. Cannot get my computer. It's being a pain, so I apologize. We are having technical difficulties on my side of the fence. But, it's not like you're ever going to, the dark night closes in like a good friend tells me goodbye. Well, turn on a light because my face is always going to be there, so don't let that happen. Oops, that's not your side. That's Budo. I'm sorry. Ah, good Lord. Stories dash of hopes are nothing new. Broken dreams litter my memories. Desires a promise that remains unfulfilled, all because I dared to hope. I live in that anti-hope world too. That no matter what you fill it up with, it just drains because there's a big old hole in the bottom. I kind of feel like you say a lot of the things that I don't say out loud, that I'm too afraid to say out loud. It isn't enough just to breathe, playing the cards I've been dealt, or am I making myself crazy, seeking answers to questions that remain unspoken? I think that you're pretty brave just to ask the questions. Because sometimes I don't even ask the questions. And you often give me a voice in your words. So I always appreciate that about your poetry. So we have Budo up.
We do. You got to let me know when you're done so I know when you're done.
I'm done. And poem. RMP.
And so we do have Budo up, and he has a recording. So I'm all excited. We're going to be serenaded. Woohoo! Here we go.
Down in the middle of it, no way out for me. You'll see. Tied to the middle of it, I can't break myself free. You'll see. The dark night closes in like a good friend, and it tells me goodbye. Bound to the middle of it, lost inside is me. You'll see, drowned in the middle of it, I can't breathe easily. You'll see, the dark night closes in like a good friend and tells me goodbye.
That guitar was amazing. Like it fully sets the mood before the lyrics even come in. It is sad, and I kind of just want to listen to the guitar like on a loop for like 16 hours and just cry. It's really beautiful. But here, this is solitary and desolate and round, yet in some way where it doesn't feel like suffocation. It feels like a moment of truth, drowned in the middle of it. I can't breathe easily. You'll see. And it's almost resigned to the end of all things. The dark night closes in like a good friend because, it keeps you company and it doesn't fail you. There's comfort in those things that keep you company and that they don't fail you, like pain, like darkness. Darkness is never light, it is darkness, And it tells me goodbye, almost like it swallows you whole. Like, kind of like you've seen those commercials with the fancy glitter slime that's got like magnets in it, and it's like this magnetic slime ball, and they put like this little metal cube and it just kind of sucks it in slowly and fully, kind of envelops it, and then it disappears into the belly of the beast. That's what this feels like, kind of. And I would say like smoke, but it's not, because that's light and this is heavy and like sludge. Like you can't see through it, you can't feel through it, you can't breathe through it. Light does not permeate that place, and you disappear. And this breaks my heart. And that guitar, I swear to you, is tied to my valves, and it is pulling emotion right through the center of my essence. This is beautiful, just truly beautiful. So, Sweet Pea, your thoughts?
First off, I agree with the guitar melody. I could put that on repeat and just put it in my headset and let it lull me to sleep tonight. That was just really pretty. And I'm already really tired, so there you go. Tied it to the middle of it. Tied to the middle of it. I can't break myself free, you'll see. The dark night closes in like a good friend and it tells me goodbye. Drowned in the middle of it, I can't breathe easily, you'll see. And it has these goodbyes, the contradiction of dark night, good friend, and telling you goodbye. That doesn't make sense. Because a good friend in the dark doesn't tell you goodbye. So I kind of get lost in this a little bit because it's very hard to break through from all the crap that you're laying in the middle of. You can't seem to find a hand to bring you up out of the middle, find a hand to kind of not let us swallow it whole. So I definitely understand how you can feel like this when just drowning in the middle of all your shit. Definitely been there. You can't seem to breathe your way through it, can't seem to fight your way through it, and can't see the sunshine anymore. You're so deep down in it. It's a really hell of a good write, Blue. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
And comment?
Yes, and comment.
Okay, so I've got negative self-talk up because I figured if that's the title of the show, what better place than to read this poem? It's a short poem, it's fine. I mean, maybe not super short, but still. This I wrote this to an image that our very own Mad Hatter sketched, and there's a bunch of eyeballs, different size eyeballs, all the eyeballs. Okay, so this is negative self-talk. Negative self-talk by me, Pretty Bird. And it goes like this. 20 eyes inside your head, every one a different view. Each one sees a stranger. Every stranger looks like you. Mind crocheting madness into knots that seem so clear. Tortured, watching, helpless as your logic disappears. Everything's too close inside. Sanity's too far. They're staring through your darkness to the truth of who you are. Bringing all the things you hate in choking spotlight, shame, forcing down hypocrisy until you say its name. Come out, wherever you are, I know what you've done. Feasting on your psyche, trying to hide from everyone. 20 eyes inside your head, every one a different view. Each one sees a stranger. Every stranger looks like you. End poem.
Ugh, the picture on this one freaks me out. And I know it's a Hatter drawing. But I like how you use mind crocheting madness because I know you crochet, and that's got to be, I can just feel you crochet with eyes, and that's just texturally freaks me out too. Everything's too close inside, sanity's too far. They're starting through your darkness, the truth of who you are. This reads to me a little bit like Poe, just kind of spooky and dark and like kind of forcing down the truth, you know. It's like, ugh, you know, the spotlighting of shame and hypocrisy until you say its name. And I love the come out wherever you are. 20 eyes inside your head, everyone with a different view. Each one sees a stranger. Every stranger looks like you. I think this is exactly like you said. This is exactly what negative self-talk is. It wraps it all up and kind of tells you like everybody's looking at you. It's every eye in your head, and they've all got something to say, and they're all looking inside, and they're going to tell you everything that's wrong with you. Because this eye saw that, and this eye saw that, and this eye saw that, and this eye, and no, you're not going to get away with anything. Because every stranger has an eye in your head, and everyone has something to tell you. Because with all of that, nobody's going to miss one little thing. You're not going to get away with anything. And it's crazy to think that, you know, I don't, you know, that's not paranoia. That's just facts, you know, in your brain. It's not at all anything but. This is a great write. I really did enjoy this night. This is a great write.
We appreciate it. It's funny because we can see 16 reasons why, 16 reasons why not, all of these things that we do to ourselves that have nothing to do with anybody else. We do it to ourselves, and it's crazy. But you are up whenever you're ready.
This is talking myself. The quiet of the dark steadies my trembling hands, the shelter where joy cannot intrude on the heaviness I carry. Anxiety rises from my chest like sharp, stinging bubbles, pushing through my veins and settling into my bones as a slow-growing resentment. I hear everything you don't say, the way your eyes flick away, your head bowed toward your phone, your jaw tightening, as if my words are an inconvenience. Hope thins under the weight of your silence. I know myself too well, the deep caverns where my mistakes echo, the tunnel where old tears gather like standing water. These aren't memories, they're truths I've learned to bathe in, hardening myself against the lies I once believed. I refuse to be your martyr. My pain isn't yours to claim, polish, or display like something you've conquered. What you call weakness is the very thing that keeps me standing. My life has a soundtrack, and every note is mine. I've hummed the tunes of self criticism, replayed the ballads of failure, and danced with nightmares dressed as fairy tales. These songs loop through my days, and still no one can stop sleep.
I think that in your verse 3, I hear everything you don't say. The way your eyes flick away, your head bowed towards your phone, your jaw tightening as if my words are an inconvenience. Hope thins under the weight of your silence. And here's the thing, people tend to go full gray rock and have zero reaction to things because that gets somebody to try harder. And people, here's the thing about body language. We know people as well as we can know people, right? And they will always surprise us because we only know what they have shown us, whatever their patterns are that we tend to glean. And we could all shift for reasons unknown. And I have found that when I am down, when I am angry, when I am happy, and I see the eyes flick away and the head bowed and the jaw tightening, they will read as 3 completely different responses. And I read this and there's a weight to it. It's heavy. It's sad. It is calloused pain where it has been raw and healed and raw and healed and raw and healed so much that now it's thickened, so it doesn't get torn open quite as easily. But in order to steel yourself against that kind of emotional brutality, we preemptively do the so this is indicative of this mood and this mood and this mood, and so I'm gonna just stay the fuck out of sight because I'm not dealing with the shit today, and and we'll sit there and be like, I see, you can say whatever you want, but I know. And we do that to ourselves, and half the time we're right, half the time we're wrong. But when we're in that place where the way somebody bends their head to look at the phone, or the way they won't look at you despite if they see the shadow of a dog running or whatever it is that pulls them away, if it feels like that familiar pain, to us it will never be anything but that familiar pain. Because better to be protected than not protected, better to trust the pain than hope again, better to brace yourself for the inevitable than believe words that have always landed empty. And this is what the middle of transition looks like to me. And I say transition because there is this kind of acceptance and accountability. My life is a soundtrack and every note is mine, all of the self-criticism, all of the failure, all of the nightmares that look pretty, but they're still nightmares. To be able to claim the pain openly, kind of, it is what it is not an easy thing to name and to wear naked. It really is not. It's a lot easier to dress it up in fancy clothes, call it denial, and make it a #1 hit. Living in that soundtrack of the truth of what repetitive pain looks like is the beginning of transition. It is a painful place. And that acceptance of whatever modicum of truth is in that is a beautiful thing, because the purity of pain is a beautiful thing. I do not recommend anybody be hurt or hurt others, because it sucks, but it's pure. It's a pure kind of suckage that over time, the unfortunate truth is that you get used to it. And yes, it is comforting. And better to have that as a dance partner than dance alone anymore. And it's heavy, and it's lonely, and it's painful, and it's raw. And it's good, because it is the beginning of not falling into empty words or trusting yourself, where we are so ready to trust the lies people tell us because we want them to be true. So I find this to be quite beautiful. So lovely. So on that note, we're going to go over what's coming up next. And that is, well, if I get to where I need to flip and be, I can tell you what that's going to be. Well, it is, what's coming up on Thursday, sweet?
Thursday is the night we're going to talk about aliens. It's flash fiction on the alien life forms. Intelligent life isn't always easy to come by, but we can't be alone in this unknown of universes. Yeah. Do you believe in alien abduction? What if Earth is just a tourist destination for extraterrestrials? Let your imagination run wild in a 500 or word less flash fiction story. Cannot wait.
Awesome. And on Tuesday, the 21st, it is big feat, you say. We've all heard the old wives' tales about predictions. Are they true or truly unreliable? Whether it's size or other predictions, can we foresee the unforeseeable? Do we really want to? Does it even matter at all? That is on Tuesday. And next Thursday, sweet.
And the following Thursday, we've got the birth of a smile. We all have those little things that seem to make us smile. At times, the warm and fuzzies can be hard to come by, whether it's those infamous whiskers on kittens or the smell of your favorite food. What are some of those favorite little things that brighten your day, lift a mood, and birth a smile?
So you can find us wherever you listen to your podcast. Just type in Pretty Sweet, PRTTYSWEET, all one word. Click on those red shoes, and you can find hundreds upon hundreds of hours of us talking about all the things. So if you're ready to be distracted, look us up wherever you listen to your podcast, and you can listen to us live every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. Just type in Pretty Sweet. You can type in Pretty Sweet Distractions, because we're in there as that. And click on those same red shoes, and you will find us there every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So like, follow, share, leave your opinion on our opinions, click all the hearts and show us some love, and do follow us so that you are up to date on all of our upcoming things. And if you want to have your poetry featured on one of our shows, go to allpoetry.com and type in Pretty Sweet Distractions. We have a group there. Feel free to join us. And then you can join us live on air. We will be happy to have you. So we have had a wonderful time, and we hope that you have too. However, if you have not, are you ready, sweet?
I
You
am.
can fuck all the way off. Good night, everyone.